Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This right here is the BMW F30, the official IER's vehicle. So you saw my previous video about how I bought it, and I did a little explanation of the things that you have to follow when you are trying to purchase a BMW. You know, how to inspect it so that way you can prevent problems. But this video will be dedicated to something completely different. Everybody talks about how to inspect a car when you buy it used, you know, like things that you have to inspect here and there and there and there and there. But nobody talks about the things that you have to do after you purchase the car. That is very important because it doesn't matter how the car is. The car could be in a really bad condition or can be in a really good condition. It doesn't matter how the car is. It's very important. Then after you buy the car, you do pretty simple repairs. Those repairs are going to be so simple but so expensive in the long run if you don't do it, because you don't have the security. Then the owner did those repairs. As for example, I have the BMW F30 about me here, and I can see that the car is in a good condition. Pretty much it looks like it doesn't need anything because it drives, runs, it passes the smoke inspection, it doesn't have any major problems, but besides just little cosmetic damage and some noises here and there, braking noises and things like that, nothing to concern. But that doesn't mean that the car doesn't have problems or doesn't need repairs. So to give you an idea, pretty much in my opinion, the car doesn't need anything, but we have to replace the oil. That's one of the things that you have to do, right? Even the car doesn't need anything. Probably the owner did the oil change like 1 month ago. So you have to replace the oil, and that is very important. You have to replace the air filters. You have to replace the spark plugs. You have to replace brakes if they're needed. In this case, we need the front brakes of this vehicle. I mean, they're still in a good condition, but we are going to replace them anyway. For the reason is because it's simply we have to keep the car in a good condition. So that right is very important for you to do these repairs. As I say, this car doesn't need all repairs because the car is running in a good condition. But that is the problem, because you think that the car is in a really good condition, you don't repair it. You don't maintain it. So that is something that you don't have to do after the purchase of the vehicle. Immediately after you buy the car, do the oil change, do the spark plugs, do the air filters, inspect the brakes. If they need replacement, replace them. Inspect the tires. If they need replacement, replace them. So things like that are going to save a lot of money on the vehicle. And it is not because the vehicle was in a bad condition. It's simply because you have to start your own record since the moment you bought the car. That way you know that the car is in a good condition because you are keeping the car in a good condition. As for example, we can see over here, right, that the car has no problems. But another thing that we have to do over here is replacing the control arms because they have a little crack over here. So we're gonna replace that. And it's normal for the BMWs to have control arm problems over here. So we are going to replace them, even knowing that they are not needed, but eventually will. So we have to do all that. If we come to the back, pretty much we don't have that much problems because the engine looks super dry, so it doesn't have anything. But that doesn't mean that the transmission fluid, the transmission is right about us here. That doesn't mean the transmission fluid is in a good condition. I can clearly see over here, you can see how this oil pan looks. It looks like it has been replaced, but I don't know when, because we have all these covers, and these covers prevent from the dust to cover it. So it's very important for you to replace the filter and the oil. That way you can prevent problems. I mean, as I say, the car doesn't need all these repairs, but you have to do them. That way you can guarantee that the car is gonna be in a good condition for a long time, because you used to spend around $8,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, depending on the value of the car. That's much money you already spend on a used car. And probably this could be a problem right here at the moment, but just because you know that the car is not having any problems, you don't do it, you don't pay attention. So that's why it's very important for you to do these repairs. It is just simple. I mean, like, you can pay around probably like $500 to get this one replaced, and that can save you a lot of money. There you have it. These are things that you have to do to actually maintain the car. As I say, you can buy a good car, come from a dealer that didn't have any problems at all, but that doesn't mean that you don't have to maintain it. And that is the problem with many people when they buy cars. When they buy used cars, the car could be in a really nice shape, and because it's in a really nice shape, they never do anything until they breaks, and they start blaming that the car was really bad. But simply it's because you never did anything to the car. That is very important to do, especially with BMWs, because BMWs are very expensive to repair if the problem goes beyond their limits. So that's why you have to repair them before anything gets to a problem. For example, I was talking about the transmission, right? Transmission, just a simply oil change can save you so many problems, like so many as you don't have idea. But if you don't do it, probably you have to replace the whole transmission, and that is gonna be super expensive. So that's why it's very important. The same way with the engine, replacing the oil, it's pretty simple, pretty cheap, but if you don't do it, it's gonna cost a lot of money as well. So that's why it's very important that you pay attention to these little components, because those components are going to be the most important components as soon as you buy the car, because they're going to prevent so many problems. That is very important. That's why I say at the beginning of the video, everybody talks about how to inspect a car when you're gonna buy it, but nobody talks about what are the things that you have to do after you purchase the car. And maintaining the car after you purchase it is very important. So make sure to do that. If you just bought a BMW, if you are thinking to buy a BMW, or if you got a BMW for years, make sure to do things like that, repairs like that, oil change, spark plug replacement, air filters. I already have all those components that I'm going to be replacing. I'm going to do different videos about it, but that's why everything is very important. But anyway, I think this video was very clear, but I don't know, probably you don't find it that clear. So if you don't, make sure to use the comment section where you can leave all those opinions. Then probably wouldn't answer on this video, and probably you can have the answers as well of other questions, so you can answer those questions too of other viewers, and probably have concern about problems with these machines. If you want to help my channel, you can check the description of the video. I have details how to send support to my channel. That way we can do content like this, you know, helping you. And if you can help us, that would be fine. But if you don't, subscribing to the channel, supporting my channel by liking the videos and sharing the videos is very important for us. So stay tuned and see you later.